yourself? Because you said you found the rubber top
Yes,
in
I
her.
did. Yeah, I styled it myself completely, and that to go to get bigger pieces, more interesting pieces in Sheffield. The only place to go really was to the Crucible Theatre. A friend of mine ran the wardrobe department there, so I had a free run of it. So the white dress that I wear, the old kind of wedding dress thing, is from there, and so is the big skirt, and so is the headpiece, the silver headpiece. It's kind of 1920s style sort of headpiece that I'm wearing, and that became a little bit of a thing that I did right the way through. I mean, that in the Sing It Back video years later, I was thinking of that headpiece when I was trying to get the mirrored piece to look very similar to it. And also in a If We're in Love video, where my head's in the bell jar, I've got a headpiece very similar to it on as well. So it's kind of recurred, that image.
And then when you started kind of supporting emerging talents like Victor and Rolf, I won't say Martin Margiela because he's still like called new in a way when he's been around 25 years. How did that all come about?
The first piece of Margiela I ever wore, by the way, was a long time ago too. It was like the second video or something that I made. It's called Dominoid, and that was like this sort of PVC skirt and top thing, and I hadn't got a clue until years later that it was by Margiela, because all there was like the little stitch thing in there. And I was too sort of nervous to ask. I bought it in town, and you know, you sort of like, I was really young, didn't want to go, who's it by? You know, everybody else seemed to know. But yes, emerging talents. I mean, I don't go out of my way to support emerging talents. I think I kind of want to make images first, and that's the most important thing. And usually you find the most exciting pieces in people that are just starting off. They have more balls, they have more energy, and yeah, I didn't sort of set about to do that. It just happened like that.
But like in the Love Ball in Vienna, you were a recent graduate from Central St. Martin's.
I did.
How did you find that?
Just on style.com, always go and have a little look, see what was going on at the graduate show, and I thought it was perfect for what I wanted. It made me think of Vienna, these massive, voluminous blue satin, very sort of regal colour. It was beautiful and made me think of the place, and so I got in touch with him, and he didn't have a dress to go with it, so I had to turn like a waistcoat back to front. We made it into a dress. He put a zip in the back for me, and it was very creative and really fun, and yeah, I enjoyed wearing that.
And do you have relationships, become friends with designers? Like I met you with Kai Kuhn, and
I do, yeah. I think.
How did you meet Kai, for instance?
Probably one of the most influential people on me, it's been my friend Nahila, who lives in New York, who's a friend of Kai. And when I met her first, like, that was about mid-90s too, and she was very kind of ghetto fabulous at the time. She had like gold earrings that said Nahila inside them, and just totally amazing. I've never seen anything like it, and she taught me an awful lot about clothes, actually, because she's very well educated and, you know, has been around beautiful clothes all her life, beautiful things all her life, so she was able to teach me a lot of stuff. And she introduced me to As4, and that's where I met Kai. And there's something about Kai's last few collections that are so me now, sort of coincidentally really, and that's kind of sparked our friendship again in a way. That I just feel very kind of akin to his creativity and the way he goes about things.
Because also I remember when we met, you said he also styles some looks for you.
I worked with Kai on a shoot for Crash magazine that's going to come out. So he was like the best stylist I've ever worked with. He was like, no, take that off. Those earrings, throw them away. And you know, you just know you're in safe hands. He really, really has a very clear idea of what's right and wrong for the situation. And obviously, there were his pieces that I was modelling. It was a collaboration between me and him, but I'd never worked with anybody that clear before, just in terms of styling. You know, it was fascinating.
And how do you pick the clothes and the visuals for the videos? Because how important is the fashion for you with music?
The music could exist on its own without the fashion, and the fashion could exist on its own without the music, to be honest. And in a way, they're not connected at all. And in a way, it's a difficult thing to put together. You know, to force the two things together is it's dicey, if you know what I mean. It's kind of chancy to do it, and it always has been. I've always felt that I've always felt that it's kind of punky of me to dress up, because you know, it's edgy. I mean, because lots of music press don't understand it and are intimidated by it, and it could maybe infringe on the music, but it's something that I find so natural and I enjoy so much. Not so much just fashion, but making imagery, you know, and also telling stories with the performance, and it really augments that process of telling the story. And a complex story at that, you know, one that's not. Things shouldn't always sit that easily together. I kind of like that they rub up against each other the wrong way, the fashion and the music, because it means that I've got a little bit of a struggle, you know, to get through. And it's not, you know, things shouldn't always be really easy, you know. So it's hard. I mean, music doesn't need fashion at all. Actually, fashion doesn't need music. I think a lot. Every fashion designer I've ever met is obsessed with music, and so but music people don't care about fashion, honestly. And you know, there's no point me trying to talk to any producer I'm working with about clothes, or even a music journalist. You know, they don't care. They're scared of it in some ways sometimes. So it's dangerous for me to play with it. I kind of like that too, though.
And also, how do you feel about, because your image is so strong, it's been copied by, say, Kylie Minogue wearing the same jacket of Gareth Pugh, or Lady Gaga taking your style but making it American. How does that feel?
Lady Gaga does it, but without sort of a bottom half, really. It's just with knickers, which is completely original. That doesn't bother me, because usually by the time it kind of goes mainstream, I've moved on. So it really is not it doesn't bother me at all. I often don't think that they're directly influenced by me either, and it's just something that's out there in the ether, and it just people pick up on and things. And I've always been somebody who, for good or for bad, sort of does do things a bit early, you know, and I kind of can feel things on the air, on the zeitgeist. I can feel things happening, and you know, one day I'll, you know, that'll be great for me. So, but it's just the way I am.